As we all know, a huge problem in Baltimore is the heroin epidemic that negatively affects a significant portion of the city population, specifically the poor African American demographic. There are federal reports that estimate as many as 60,000 heroin addicts in Baltimore alone, and that doesn't even include addicts of other drugs as well. While there have been quite a few steps taken in Baltimore to alleviate the problem, not enough is being done. The manner in which the heroin epidemic is approached must be reformed. And these three individuals here will present a couple of solutions and suggestions as to how Baltimore could attack the problem.
Good afternoon, Mayor Chen. I am Tamey Habtu, a student from Johns Hopkins University, and I'm here to present a solution to the heroin epidemic. First, we believe it would be beneficial if Baltimore officials push for the state government to legalize marijuana. It is undoubted that the negative health effects of using marijuana are much less in magnitude than the negative health effects of using opiates such as heroin. Currently, marijuana and heroin are both Schedule I illegal drugs, which misleads much of the public into diminishing the destructive effect and tabooness of the drug because of the prevalence of marijuana. Legalizing marijuana would redirect many potential drug users away from using heroin. In some European countries, for example, legalization of many drugs has actually led to a lower drug addiction rate, especially to the more dangerous variety. Even overdoses from opiates have decreased in states with legalized marijuana.
I do remember hearing that opioid overdoses decreased by 25% following the legalization of marijuana in Colorado. So that could be a plausible idea. Do you have anything else?
Yes, we have another solution, which will be presented by my peer, Justin Chen.
Hi, I'm Justin. Another possible solution would be to have a court system for drug abuse separate from the general judiciary system. Instead of having the tough punishments that are doled out to violent criminals be the consequence of drug abuse, treatment and recovery should be the primary focus when attempting to diminish the heroin epidemic. When non-violent drug offenders are arrested, they should be ordered to go through a rehab program where, having multiple future offenses, increase the rigor and strictness of the program. If offenders are shown to be extremely non-compliant, at that point, they will be subjected to a normal, systematic way of punishment. The second part to this ties in with the new idea. It is to redirect drug enforcement agencies to focus on larger, more influential kingpins while leveling lesser, more reasonable punishments or rehab requirements for typical street dealers. We understand the never-ending cycle of incarceration is detrimental to both youth, street dealers, and the local economy, so we would try to implement this method in an effort to differentiate for the short-term fleeting dealers who have potential to become functional members of society from the lifelong, deeply rooted kingpins that have devoted their careers to trafficking hard drugs. Baltimore needs a change from top down, so lowering supply through thoroughly attacking the root of this problem could drastically lessen the amount of heroin imported into the city. Evidently, this is probably one of the more traditional and hardest methods to impose, simply because it requires the most government intervention, but it's definitely worth considering this aggressive method.
Do you guys have any suggestions relating to other drug treatments?
We do. My peer Nakul will be presenting that to you.
Mayor Tilva, my name is Nakul Narendran. I'm another student here at Hopkins. So another solution we had would be to use the money saved from not incarcerating addicts in addition to federal grants already provided for the production and distribution of certain opioid dependence prevention drugs. And one of these drugs is called Vivitrol, or naltrexone. And it's emerging as a possible breakthrough treatment for opioid addiction, as it provides a relatively long-term break from the urge to relapse. Vivitrol is capable of blocking all of the opioid receptors in the brain, so as opposed to simply decreasing the use of heroin gradually up to the point of recovery, this injection removes the ability and therefore the need to even get high. What sets this treatment apart from others is its extended release nature and that the injection lasts for an entire month. This means that each heroin addict only has to make this good decision to get the treatment one time over 4 weeks instead of every single day. And this diminishes the opportunities to relapse pretty substantially. This method could be extremely useful for people who are currently incarcerated for drug use, as they would be able to receive the treatment while in prison and hopefully leave with the ability to stay sober instead of falling into the common relapse. Although there isn't much knowledge about the effectiveness of Vivitrol as most would like, it is possible that this drug has an upside which makes it completely worth looking into.
Great. Are there any other uncommon ideas that you guys have?
Yeah, I believe Tamey Habtu has one more idea.
Hello once again, Mayor Tilva. We believe it would be very beneficial if Baltimore officials push for the establishment of safe injection sites, where drug addicts could safely inject a specified small amount of heroin, or a safer drug that has similar effects, rather than the usual amount that drug users inject. For existing heroin addicts in Baltimore, simply stopping their usage is almost an impossible task. Although it may be illegal for them to use a drug, once they are addicted, attempting to become sober is an arduous and difficult task. The establishment of safe injection sites will allow drug addicts a safe place to inject only a small amount of heroin, an amount monitored by the site itself, and only enough to alleviate any potential withdrawal symptoms, without legal ramifications or risk of using unsterile needles. Participants in the safe injection sites would register and would receive a smaller and smaller dosage after each month at the site. So it won't feel any addictions, but instead slowly wean existing users off of the drug.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all of those suggestions. It is true that a change in the heroin epidemic must come from a combined effort from all levels of government and from all angles of attack. I also recognize that your solutions work on multiple levels and areas, and I will definitely work to implement those ideas in my agenda as Mayor of Baltimore. I cannot confirm that all of the solutions will be realized due to obvious obstacles such as funding issues, but the citizens and officials in Baltimore will be happy to see initiative in tackling such a widespread problem.